Now we will talk about the 8-in-1 sensor logic function. We go to the logic function in this tab, and we will see that we have 32 logic. Each logic we can program it as different than the others. Here also we have the room brightness we can read, and here we can adjust the motion sensor sensitivity from 0 to 100, and we save. Now we want to program simple programming about if somebody move to open the light in the room. If there is no movement in the room for 5 minutes, the lights will go off. We will use two logic, one for movement and one for no movement. The first one for movement, we make it valid and we write the remarks, hints like movement, and we save, we see, and the other one will write that it's valid and is no movement. Then we go and press number 1. We can double click to or make edit from here. If we make double click, then we will see that this is the logic. Here will tell me if we press current sensor, what is the status exactly now about the dry contact, the sensors, the brightness, and so on. From right click in the beginning, I can enable and disable the zones. By default, all must be enabled. Here I can now program. I don't want anything from this, only I want now the motion sensor. For my example, I tell him if movement or no movement. If movement, how many delay you want the action to happen. If it's movement, keep movement. I want directly, so I will press 0, 0, 0 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and save the logic from here. Then I go for if movement, what will happen? I go to command, press command, and I will tell him, for example, to open the lights or air condition on. So, for example, open channel number 1, 60%, save. So this about the first programming. Now, if somebody move, the lights will go on. If no movement, I will go for no movement to program it, and I will press, and I will say motion sensor, no movement for 5 minutes, save, go, and off. The same light, which is how I make it, single channel light, number 1, make it 0%, and make it to off slowly, like 1 minute, for example, save. This is the example about how to make the motion sensor with movement and with no movement. Of course, you can make many others programming. Let's say if somebody forget the door open, to off the AC, let's say this is connect to door open, dry contact 1 is connect to door open, valid, save, double click, and I will tell him if dry contact 1, which is disconnect, meaning open, for let's say 3 minutes, save, go and off the AC, for example, number 2, the panel number 2 DLB, AC power. This is the example about the dry contact 1, dry contact 2. Of course, we can tell him now to go in logic number 1, we will make it a little more complicated. We can tell him if somebody moves in the night, that the lux is between 0 and 50, meaning there is darkness, go and open the lights. Now we make logic number 1 a little more complicated. So this is about the programming. Of course, we can go also more complicated to make and or from here. Let's say in number 1 we say we must put and, like if motion sensor and lock sensor, then it should and, or it will make like if this or this and this and this, and the right in this our example is to be and. So this is about the motion sensor. We can also make a flags, like flag number 40 open or close, like smart mode or visitor mode, cinema mode. For example, in the cinema mode, if I press, I can make this flag from the universal switch on. Then if somebody move while I am watching the cinema, I don't want the lights to be on. So if it's on, if number 40 off, for example, meaning I am not in the cinema mode, open the lights, otherwise don't open the lights. We can set the flag open or close from any other device, or also from the same device by universal switch command. Just try the universal switch of this motion sensor, which is 155, on or off. The same way we trigger the infrared. We can divide these flags into infrared and into flags of our 249 flags and infrared control. This all about the logic function of the 8-in-1 sensor. For the security settings, same also, we can make for each one normally open or normally close, if it's 24 hours or other security zones for each sensor to dry contact, and the motion sensor that support 3 zones of security to communicate with the security module. This all about the 8-in-1 sensor. Thank you.